Everyone had the opportunity to look over the agenda.
And I'll make a motion, we approve that as presented.
Now second.
All in favor of that?
Aye.
Good deal. Okay, we'll move along to public comment. We only have one, Miss Suzanne Armstrong, signed up to discuss crosswalks.
Hi, my name is Suzanne Armstrong. Good evening, council. I just wanted to mention, I've heard a lot of accidents, people crossing the crosswalks that really are not necessary. And I had a suggestion that maybe the town could paint the crosswalks, paint them maybe with flowers like hibiscus, or some kind of design, any kind of design to make people aware that they are driving through a town, which I think would avoid some accidents.
All right. Thank you, Miss Armstrong. Everyone had an opportunity to look over the minutes from our June 6th and June 11th meetings.
Motion to adopt both of those, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Deal. Item number 4, public hearings, 204 West Boulevard, zoning map amendment. Can I have a motion to open the hearing
Now make that motion.
Second.
right now? Okay. We'll let
Go and give a report.
Yes, that'll be fine, then we'll have public comment
Okay.
on that.
Mr. Mayor, this property is 204 West Boulevard. This is the old Burnsville Motel property, in case anyone's not familiar. Mr. Holt and his family here, he's purchased that property recently and has filled out the proper paperwork to have a map amendment to reclassify that. It's currently C1. He's looking to classify that as C3. If you think about that property, our C1 district is really our downtown, our downtown area here around the square and just off. C2 is basically our bypass area, bypass corridor. C3 seemed to be a better fit because it's not really in this downtown around the square, and it's not really on the bypass. C3 would be off of that. So he's looking to change the map designation to C3. This went before the planning board a couple months ago. They reviewed this and they made a recommendation to approve this change from C1 to C3.
You need
If
a
anybody has
motion?
any other questions, or Mr. Holt's here, I'm sure he'll care to answer any questions as well you have.
Did anybody sign up for public,
No.
for the public hearing? I guess you close it.
Would you like to say anything? Mr.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Unless there's questions.
Okay.
I have a question, Ian. What is your plan with that?
You can't ask him.
Oh, sorry.
In a rezone, you can't, a map amendment, you can't ask what
Okay.
they're
I thought you had a plan.
Sorry, Randy.
These will both be commercial, it's going from one commercial to another. He has commercial interest for the property. Again, after assuming this goes through, if that's what the approval is, his next step would be to submit for a zoning application for his commercial development.
Yep.
Any other comment from the board members? Have a motion to close the hearing.
I'll make that motion.
Ah.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, now we do consideration to
Approved.
approve the proposed map amendment. Do I have a motion to approve the ordinance?
I'll make that motion.
Pardon.
I was just gonna say, do we need to go out of public hearing or?
He just
We
did.
did when we closed.
Yeah.
That's two of us, there's only three left.
Oh, I promise I'll mess up.
Oh, okay.
That just leaves Bill,
Wow, I
Bill,
must have dozed off.
that just leaves Bill and Denise, so.
We'll keep it that way.
We'll see.
Let's go back.
We don't know.
All right, so Bill made a
Made the
motion to,
motion.
to approve the ordinance.
And I will second it,
All in
to get
favor?
out of hot water.
Motion carries, Chair.
Thank you.
All right, moving on fairly quickly. We don't have anything under presentations tonight. We'll move on to Ms. Hockaday with the manager's report.
Okay, the North Main Police Department Public Works Building renovation, we've had 3 small engineering contracts. The architect's working with these guys to get the construction documents finalized. ARET Engineering out of Blowing Rock is the structural engineer. And then Municipal is also out of Boone, is the civil engineer, and then Allied, which is out of Mooresville, or maybe Belmont, somewhere close to Charlotte. They're the mechanical, plumbing, and electrical HVAC engineers. Each of those are gonna just give him those plans to go on top overlay of his construction documents. And the, all of the work was well under that $50,000 threshold where you have to actually procure through an RFQ. The total amount for all 3 was $31,985, and I just wanted to make you guys aware of that and just have you ratify the agreements to work with these 3 so the architect can get them done. Hopefully, he's hoping if they can get their stuff done that we'll be ready to look at bidding it sometime in August. I'm excited
deal.
about that.
So we need a motion to.
Just to ratify
the.
those 3 engineering agreements.
Okay, I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Okay, Meadow Road, the project that never will
This keeps giving.
just keeps getting better and better. All bids were above the available funding, and so I need, I'm not sure actually legally that I do need a motion and a vote, but I wanted to bring it to your attention to reject the bids. We have, I think Russell can tell you, we've got a contingency plan for a short-term fix that will get at least that small sinkhole filled back in and everything stabilized, so we can look for other funding to, at some point, replace the whole culvert, which is what needs to happen. But we did not have enough funding available through FEMA to do any of the work under the bids that we got.
So, I'll just give you a brief overview. I did meet with the apparent low bidder, a representative from that company. And, as Heather said, they were over budget. I met with them on site, and my idea was to have Shane and his crew go down there and do a minimal amount of work to make it safe that will last for a substantial amount of time. And, the apparent low bidder was okay with that. I mean, I didn't have to have his approval, but he did volunteer to come by when Shane got started, because it's something we can do in a day. And he did volunteer to come by and help with any information that Shane may need. So, that's what we've decided to do. And it's gonna be at a very, very limited cost, probably, I mean, I don't know, but probably less than $10,000. So, and instead of having to put money with the FEMA money to do it, I just, and we couldn't go back to FEMA. It's been a fiasco, I promise you. Chad and Leslie can tell you how much of a fiasco it's been, because they've had to deal with Heather over it. It's been the worst.
Well, we're topping that one this week with DQ. But
The Highway 19 widening project was not as much of a fiasco as this.
in the FEMA fund,
60 lineal
Yeah.
foot of culvert, so.
yeah. So, FEMA would only pay to put it back to exactly like it was the day before the flooding occurred. And it just wasn't enough money to do once. There were so many unknowns because it's such an old piece of infrastructure. The bids were everywhere from, I think, the low bid was like 125 something, and then the highest one was somewhere in the $400,000 neighborhood. It was just a ridiculous amount of money.
And the apparent low bidder did, with my direction, go and place a steel pipe, or steel plate over it, so it can't be driven into it at no cost to us. So that is in place for right now until, I just told Shane when his crew got a spare moment, which doesn't happen very often, but when they kinda got caught up to go down there and try to remedy it, and he's agreed to that, so.
So you want a motion to reject the bids?
I don't think we have to, but I think it's not gonna hurt to.
No, because I'll need to let the engineering.
I'll make that
firm on there.
motion
No.
I'll second it. All in favor, any questions?
Okay, the next one is consideration of town official bonding. The statutes require that the tax collector and the finance officer are bonded. The tax collector in a minimum amount of $50,000, and then the finance officer 10% of the unit's annually budgeted funds up to $1 million. So that's something we have to present to y'all and get your approval on. No, I'm sorry, finance was 50,000, right?
I think you went to the 10%.
Yeah, no, it went to 10%, I'm sorry. Anyway, we have 50,000 for blanket employee coverage too, and board coverage. But, need y'all's approval, of that, so that we can get the new bonds issued.
Motion approved.
Second.
All in favor?
Right.
Okay, and next is, consideration of the Minority Business Enterprise Participation Outreach Plan. So the state requires on any building projects, or building repair projects, new construction, that the local government have in place a minority business outreach plan. And I've prepared one. Anytime we're gonna spend $300,000 on a building project, or we're gonna spend $100,000 or more from state funding. And what's kind of prompted this is, obviously, we've got 1.8 million getting ready to spend on this building out here. So we need to have this in place to be in compliance with the statute. Back in 2011, the town passed a resolution for a verifiable goal of 10% participation. This is more of an onus put on the contractors, the general contractors. They have to go through a process and make efforts to find subcontractors that are minority-owned businesses. And then they have to fill out a number of affidavits, basically stating the efforts that they went to. They don't have to award them if they're not the lowest bidder, or if they can't find anyone, or if they're gonna do all the work by themselves, but they have to make efforts. So we did not have the plan in place, and so I prepared one for you guys to consider. And hopefully this gets us in compliance with the state law, so since the money did come from the state to rehab that building.
Okay. So I have a motion.
We'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Yeah.
Okay, we've got, Chad, did you put that in? Yeah, it is. The consideration of High Country Council of Governments GIS contract. So they did our GIS mapping. Every year we contract with them. to come back and do any updates of additions or adding. They come out twice a year. I think Tatiana has already been once this year, Shane, if I'm not incorrect about that. They charge $80 an hour and they update anything that's changed in the system, any new lines, any new stormwater, anything like that, water, sewer, or stormwater. So I would just need a motion to approve that contract. And it's similar, it's the same one we had last year, they just changed the dates.
I'll make that motion.
All in favor?
The next thing, E, consideration of Crass Fair MOUSC Lanes here. She and I had worked through an update to the memorandum of understanding that the town and the chamber have with, that's right here. The chamber have with the Crass Fair each year. Our Public Works and our Police Department provide certain services, and I think the last one was somewhere like 2011. I don't think it had been updated in a long time. And there were some things that we had that we no longer have, so that we supplied or used that we no longer have. So we've updated that. And I just need you guys to approve it, and then Elena's gonna send it out to her board for their approval as well. And Shane's been instrumental, the three of us met early, and he's reviewed it and is good with what his guys are being asked to do.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, and then on the tax report, you've got my annual tax settlement and order of collections, which actually is pretty good for 2023. We had a collection rate of 99, well, currently we have collected 99.17% of all outstanding taxes.
Outstanding.
So that's good. Total, real and personal, there's about $6,900 outstanding on the 2023 levy. We didn't have any this time. You have to, I think it's 10 years on personal property, and then you can declare the person insolvent if it's not been paid. You can remove that. We didn't have any of those this year, Jackie said, that qualified. We've got a number of, there's one that's been through foreclosure and has sold, and we're waiting for the sale to be approved by the clerk. And we've got a number of others that we're looking at, possibly discussing with Kenya, the foreclosure attorneys. But that's pretty much it, and I think I need you guys to make a motion to authorize us to collect the 2024 taxes.
I make that motion.
Second.
And I'm done.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
Because right now it's when me or you one's fixing to mess up.
okay.
It's probably gonna be me. You do that.
Oh, sorry, no, I didn't. I did
It's-
mess up.
it's
The
okay.
reason I didn't do it is because we had to table the lead service line.
Oh, yeah. So technically you
Yes.
didn't.
Well, no,
Okay.
I probably need to table it till August. DEQ is in a huge fight with the LGC now about whether or not we need to. It has been one more week, I can just say that. But finally, Leslie and I are out of the clear, and they've decided they're just gonna fight with each other. So, I don't know, I didn't hear anything more today, but the offer and acceptance that we've been waiting on since last August came last Friday, and all the numbers were wrong. Did not in any way match up.
Substantially wrong.
Substantially wrong. And then we couldn't get them to understand that that's what we were asking, why have these numbers changed? They just were obsessed with, you've not been before the LGC, and we'd sent them multiple emails where the LGC said, we don't have to review this.
After I filled out the packet.
After she filled out the packet and sent it, well, we don't have to review it. So it's just been, so we're gonna let them fight it out and in the end tell us what to do. I will say though, Shane and I did meet with the engineers who are going to be doing this project, and they will have their contract ready by August as well. But they're gonna go ahead and get started, cause the inventory has to be done by October 1. And they're like, look, it's, one way or another, we have to have it done. The EPA is requiring the inventory, so. We hope that everybody in Raleigh will get their stuff together.
Good luck.
Good luck with
Do we have
us.
to make a motion to table that, or just?
I
let it-
just let it go to the next.
Okay.
I don't think we need a motion. So I don't have anything to present at this time.
There you go. All right. Thank you, Heather. We'll move on to Mr. Fox with the clerk's update.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. For compliance on our CDBGI project, West Main Interceptor, sewer interceptor, I need to report the following. For our semi-annual self-report, there have been no Section 504 Americans with Disability Act complaints to the town during the last 6 months. There have been no fair housing complaints to the town during the last 6 months. And there have been no limited English proficiency translation requests in the last 6 months. My next item is a road closure request from Home Place. They previously requested a closure of South Main on the 21st of September from 4 to 10. They kind of made some assumptions because previously Old Timey Days had been ahead of them, and they realized that is not the case this year. And they also have more vendors involved, and they have now asked that the street be closed from noon until the same end time, 10 o'clock. So it goes from noon instead of 4. They're adding 4 hours there. The event starts at 5, and they asked if you all would consider extending that closure on South Main.
Are they gonna be coordinating with,
It's a
Carriage House
partnership
again?
with,
Okay.
yeah, with New Ray. Yeah, it'll be throughout their grounds also.
Does that affect us with the town center on that day?
They rent with us as well.
Okay, I thought so. I just wanted to make sure I didn't want to cause a problem with the town center.
So explain to me again why so early?
They, I think, had worked kind of along with the Old Timey Days and had more setup time instead of the 4 o'clock. I think they maybe extended it from 4 o'clock previously. The Old Timey Days had it until about that point, if I'm correct there. And when they turned in their packet, they had considered that there's no Old Timey Days. So that doesn't give them enough time because they had more time than that last year. And now they've got more set up than they had at that time, so they requested noon.
Brian, do you have any?
Chad had talked to me about this, and with it being so many hours, I wanted to bring back to the board so y'all are aware, that's, it is a city street, so we don't have to get DOT approval to shut that down, but it is an extended period of time. But he is right, in previous years, the road was already shut down for Old Timey Days, so maybe they could go ahead and get started setting up early, and maybe this did change those plans.
Miles?
I got access either way, so.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, thank you. My last item is the Board of Adjustment update. Recently we made some text amendments about the Board of Adjustments, and since then, we've been making updates to the rules and procedures and generating some applications and summaries for some solicitations and advertisements. And we currently have 4 interested parties. Either we have commitments or applications in hand for 4 of those, so we almost have enough folks to populate that board. So, getting close.
All right.
That's all I got.
Thank you, Chad.
You're welcome.
We'll move on to Mr. Shane Dale with the Public Works update.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. One thing that I have to update on is the Bakers Creek Pump Station. I'm pleased to announce that it's probably not the oldest pump station in the state now.
It's the newest now.
Yeah. It's actually been operating on the new pump since, like, the 24th of June. They still a few more bugs to work out and a few things like that. I was out there today finishing up the fence around it and all of that, but that project is just about complete. So that's one of these ARPA projects, or projects off the list. Or,
Good.
almost off the list.
That's right.
We like complete, don't we?
We do. That's a lovely one to have complete. I guess the other thing, I'll just go ahead and let you all know, we're working pretty hard right now trying to get the building down there cleaned out. We've come up with another place to house the people down there, so we're trying to get the building cleaned out and hopefully be ready by August, September, somewhere in that neighborhood for that project to start. That's pretty much what I've got.
Thank you, Shane. Miss Leslie?
Thank you, sir. Well, I'm very boring this month.
We like it when you're boring.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, you got the overtime report. There was some vacation, so there was some higher overtime, but, you also had the new budget, so I didn't print a budget for second because I'm just now gonna print checks, so there's nothing that's it really. And Shane says 1 project down, 5 more to go, or 15. That's it for me.
Thank you, Leslie.
Here.
We'll move on to Chief Howe. Would like to say, Chief, that you've been in our thoughts, and
I appreciate
we know
it.
you had a lot going on, and you've been in our thoughts and prayers.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We've got the call report for the month. We did have 29 calls this past month, and I'm proud to report that most of them were canceled en route. So that's all right.
So great.
It's better than having to get out and run in the middle of the night and go do things, so we will take that. The other thing to report on, we have done the annual ladder test on our aerial on the Quint, and that passed, and the oil sample passed. Also, we've started our annual hose testing, so all of it's getting underway, and we'll try to complete that while the weather's warm, and then get in some hydrant testing hopefully and get that over with before cold weather sets in. And I'll conclude by saying my picture today on my report is in honor of National Ice Cream Day, which is July 21st, 2024.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Brian, did you see
I
that?
had one in the new place today.
And Brian's changed his whole look, I mean, he's
Yeah.
yeah. Here,
Oh,
so
yeah.
I mean, none of those.
I would like to ask Chief Howell, next time you do an aerial test, inform all of us, because when I come up Town Hill and seen it on Town Hall, I was like, oh no.
Well, actually,
Town hall's on fire.
Actually, we're cleaning out.
That was a different.
That
We were cleaning out
wasn't
the
even
roof
that, that was
drains,
just cleaning out the roof.
The roof drains were stopped up over here leaking inside, so we got up there and cleaned the roof drains out with it.
That was a project that I kinda gave him, I guess.
That was a favor to Shane.
Well, thank you, Chief Howell. We'll move on to Chief Buchanan with the police report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. You have our activity logs. I didn't know about Ice Cream Day, so I let that off. The one thing I have to report, we did hire an officer in our open position, Officer David McCurry, who started with us. He's currently undergoing some FTO, some field training with another officer, but we're hoping to have him at full capacity soon. He seems to be a fine young man. He has a 4-year degree from Lees McRae in criminal justice. So we're
And
excited.
local.
Yeah. So we're excited to have him with us. Moving on to zoning code enforcement, we canceled last week's planning meeting because we didn't have anything, but after tonight's meeting and that map amendment that was coming in, I also had another project come through today, so we'll probably be having a special meeting soon for a design review for at least 2 different projects coming up in the near future. That's all I have.
I will have to say, Brian, that your summer does look like ice cream.
It's pretty. It's
Yeah,
the
it
colors.
looks like ice creams, so.
It does, really.
Popsicles.
That's why I did that. I forgot.
Well, thank you, Brian. Okay, Mr. Corbin, Town Center.
Yep, so we have 25 events this month, 22 next month. Next month's a little bit lower on the events that we typically have, but the ones we have are mostly larger events. Not really any public events coming up, except for Dylan Wilson is putting on another show next month, but I've yet to receive much information about that yet. So they're still kind of pulling things together. So, but
Do you have a date on that one?
On Dylan's show, that is August 9th as of right now. It's, the name he gave me was Air Mountain Podcast Launch. So we'll find out more about that hopefully soon.
I
That'll
didn't
be
know the
advertised for it. That's all that I really.
Have to hurry, cause we meet on the 8th, if it's the 9th.
What was that now?
If we meet on the 8th, then it's the 9th, we won't get much information.
That's of next month.
Yeah,
Yeah, oh, I see what you're saying.
yeah,
I understand now. It'll be advertised for. Just check out the website.
yeah.
All right, thank you, Corbin. Council members' reports, anyone have anything they'd like to report on?
Probably not as much a report of it, and we keep talking about this and the speed on West Main Street. We're gonna have to slow it down. Somebody's gonna get killed walking across that crosswalk at home place or the glass blowing or somewhere. I don't know if we can get a little bit more visits down through there and slow them down a little bit.
Okay.
I got told today I was number 1 trying to get in the road. And it was running probably 45 or 50.
Anyone else? All right, we'll move on to our advisory boards. Chamber of Commerce. Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Mostly reporting on Crafts Fair again. We're just a few weeks from it. We're going to have 187 vendors this year with 219 booths. So it's going to be bigger and better than ever. I want to thank both Heather and Shane for working with me on the MOU. I think we have it all ironed out, and I'm pleased you guys passed it. I'll be passing that along to our board tomorrow. I want to thank Ryan and his staff for everything that they do for our Crafts Fair and helping us get set up and organized before it even starts, because that's a huge part of it. So we had a couple of ribbon cuttings this month, which is exciting. The farmers market did their official ribbon cutting, even though they've been open for a few weeks. And I'm happy to report that Tulsi Rose Ice Cream is now open, and they did their ribbon cutting. So that's a perfect place to celebrate National Ice Cream Day.
Had one today.
And last but not least, I'm excited that our board just approved to have a completely new website built, which we really desperately need. So we'll be working on that over the next few months, and that's pretty much what I have. Happy to answer any questions that you might have. Thank you.
I think so. Thank you. No closed session. All right, our next regular business meeting is August the 6th. Is that correct?
Tuesday, that's, I think, was what we worked out with Randy, is that
Yeah.
correct?
Let me look, I was thinking it was on, I know it's Tuesday.
Because we were shooting for the 6th.
Yeah, because the 8th was on a Thursday.
Yeah, sorry.
That's right.
Yeah, we're shooting for the 8th and we ended up doing the 6th.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, Bill, I kind of skipped High Country. Do you have anything you need to report on?
Just more or less just to.
Sorry about that. There's my mistake.
Just to approve their agenda, approve the budget
Okay.
was the big thing there at the time.
So again, our next regular business meeting is August the 6th, which is on a Tuesday. No one else has anything. I have a motion to adjourn.
Y'all make that motion.
I'll second.
Thank you to everyone for coming. Hope y'all have a great day.